Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan Proft here. Thank goodness our long national nightmare is over as Jimmy Kimmel returns to the airwaves tonight on some ABC stations. Sinclair, this ABC affiliates that Sinclair owns, no Dice, no Jimmy Kimmel. But Disney has reinstated him. It's not clear what Nexstar is going to do. And thank goodness. I mean, just in the nick of time, because I was really starting to get concerned about distraught Hollywood celebrities. You know, they do so much for us. To enlist them to protect our First Amendment rights, to save our democracy. You know, I mean, didn't Mark Ruffalo do enough in Foxcatcher?
We saw Jimmy Kimmel's show was canceled. We don't know what the reasons are, really. It's very cloudy and murky. I don't understand what's happening right now. My industry doesn't understand what's happening right now. But what they do understand is our freedom of speech is being attacked. I heard Mark Maron today talk about it. He said, you guys were so afraid of being canceled. You went out and you screamed and you yelled about being canceled. But the cancellation was coming from people who didn't like what you had to say. It was coming from people who didn't agree with what you were saying and were speaking out about it. This cancellation is the United States government coming and taking your voice away from you. It is the United States government that is now suppressing the freedom of speech. It is the United States government, not your neighbors, not someone on social media. It is the government doing it now. And that's where we all have to come together. Because authoritarian regimes, fascist regimes have to degrade our freedoms more and more over time until we're living the smallest, the most frightened, the most secretive lives. Think of yourselves living under the Taliban, because that's where we're headed.
Yeah, we got pretty close to the Taliban there over the last week. Measured statement from Mark Ruffalo, as per usual. It's unfortunate because we had such a moment with Ruffalo when he was on Rainn Wilson's podcast, and they actually displayed a capacity for human compassion in the direction of somebody they disagree with politically, talking about Charlie Kirk, and had a nice moment where I think they generally both decried violence as the means to political ends. But I suppose you can only keep someone with Trump derangement syndrome from their derangement for so long. Angelina Jolie as well. I mean, didn't Angelina Jolie do enough for us with the Kung Fu Panda franchise? Does she too have to save our democracy and protect our free speech rights?
I love my country, and but I don't at this time recognize my country. And I think that's, but I've always lived internationally. I've always,
global citizen.
My family's international. My friends, my life, my worldview is equal, united, international. So anything, anywhere that divides or, of course, limits personal expressions and freedoms and from anyone, I think is very dangerous.
Yeah, global citizen, maybe really a cosmic citizen, because it sounds like she stands above this mortal coil upon which we all otherwise reside. But I mean, since she's equal U.S. and equal international, she may want to peruse, I don't know, Western Europe, much less Islamic theocracies, when it comes to the discussion of freedom of thought and expression. But, again, she's done enough. I mean, Changeling was enough. We don't need her to do more. It's unfair to ask her to do more. For more on all this, please be joined by Christian Toto, host of the Hollywood in Toto podcast, HollywoodInToto.com. Christian, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Where do I start with this? I mean, where do I start? I'll start. Let's see. Mark Ruffalo just acknowledged cancel culture and said it was no biggie. Can you? I mean, let's start there.
Right.
Did you hear what he had to say? And people were being canceled because they had the wrong thoughts, and he didn't give a bleep about that for 8 years, didn't care, and just mentions it now in passing. What an absolute phony and fraud. And as you intimated, listen, I've always given Angelina Jolie a lot of slack. I've always thought, she seems more thoughtful. She's not as hyperbolic. She travels the world. She actually puts herself in harm's way to help people. No, she's an idiot. She's just an idiot. And she's an idiot because she's Miss International, and she's ignoring the 60-minute segment where German police officers ransack homes trying to arrest you if you had the wrong thought on social media. And, of course, you know what's going on in England with social media posts. I mean, my goodness, if you're so thoughtful and you're so international and you don't have a syllable to spare about that. I just wrote a huge article yesterday at Hollywood and Toto that just absolutely eviscerates all these celebrities who are now the new free speech warriors who didn't say boo as the government was shutting us down again. And I'm apoplectic about this. They are such frauds. And I love Hollywood. I love the industry in theory. I made my entire career about covering Hollywood and movies and film and TV. I'm just exhausted by these people.
Yeah, no, I mean, exactly. You love the artistry. It goes with the music industry. I mean, the Broadway. I mean, a lot of, entertainment generally, sports even to a large extent. I mean, you love their artistry and this talent that they have, but they prove themselves. They sort of really do their own brand damage when they speak about things of which they know very little. I mean, the other thing that Mark Ruffalo said, in addition to, as you said, sort of just dismissing cancel culture when it was people he didn't like, he sort of pretended it was just like corporate. It was social media companies making those decisions, and of course, we know very well, the Twitter files, that it was government using cutouts to do what the government couldn't legitimately do, and that's the same thing as the government doing it.
Yeah, I mean, the ignorance is off the charts. Listen, here's the thing. They didn't speak up during cancel culture, one, because they were afraid they would get canceled. Two, they were maybe not as up to speed on it because their news feeds are so limited and so restricted because they're only listening to like the HuffPos of the world. And three, they couldn't blame it on Donald Trump or some GOP figure.
Yeah.
They couldn't point their finger at their own selves and say, geez, we're responsible for that. That's why they let it go. Three different reasons, fear being number one.
And with respect to Kimmel, I mean, I said when we were talking about it last week, Brendan Carr made a mistake. I like him. I think he is somebody who has a very firm understanding of First Amendment freedoms and all of our freedoms, and is respectful of those, understands Supreme Court jurisprudence on the First Amendment. But by intimating that regulatory action was possible, he made a mistake. That was the wrong play. He should have said nothing, and he should say nothing now that Kimmel's back on the air. And let him be. I mean, let Kimmel do what he's going to do, and Disney do what they're going to do. Sinclair and Nexstar can make their own decisions. But the idea of facilitating this phony, professional martyrdom that is being advanced about Jimmy Kimmel, you're aiding and abetting this silliness.
Yeah, I couldn't believe. I mean, his comments were extremely ill-advised. There's no proof at all that this was a cause and effect. The optics certainly are lousy, and he shouldn't be saying that. And so that, there is a legal argument based on public airwaves and what he was doing. I understand that, but we really haven't gone there for quite some time. It's a legitimate slippery slope if we do. And we just had 4 years of administration that was just absolutely couldn't wait to suppress speech. I mean, what happens in 2028 if we set this precedent and then there's a flip of, parties in power? You're going to see this on steroids. So many, many reasons why that was a very, very foolish thing to say.
Do you have any expectation that Kimmel will come on tonight and say, what I said last week was incorrect and I was wrong to say it?
I think he's going to dance around that expertly as far as he can't say, I'm sorry, he can't say I was wrong. But then again, I don't know how he was able to negotiate to get back on the air. I mean, he's dealing with Disney. Disney wanted him. Well, I guess maybe the needle threading is he won't apologize and he won't double down.
He won't say anything.
I think the double downing was the real part that drove Disney execs crazy. Like, not only will you not apologize for something, but I want to point out, I mentioned this on my site, but Megyn Kelly did the Wayback Machine, I think it was like a year and a half ago, where Jimmy Kimmel literally said that we have a team of fact checkers here who go over our monologue.
Yep.
And if on the rare occasions I make a mistake, I will apologize. I mean, just play that in a loop. And the fact that no journalist in the country will dig up that very easily discoverable bit of information, and it took a new media personality to do it, it just says everything. I'm reading the Variety and the Hollywood Reporter. I mean, it's like ABC PR. I mean, they should all take the week off. They're not necessary.
Yeah,
just sit down.
We play that on this show too. In addition to all of the celebrations when other corporate decisions they liked came down, getting rid of Tucker, getting rid of Roseanne Barr, and and deplatforming Trump on social media. All that stuff they celebrated, and it was a part of saving our democracy and ending hate speech and misinformation and disinformation and so on and so forth. This corporate decision, and we're this close to living under the Taliban. I mean, this is the basically the intellect and the stability you're dealing with emotionally. Yeah,
I mean, and also, how do you square Trump as Hitler, the worst person in the world? And by the way, we just brought Jimmy Kimmel back after a week vacation. I mean, he's so all-powerful and demonic and so authoritarian that he lets this happen. Ooh,
yeah,
wow.
Right.
I didn't know he was so bad at being a dictator. I mean, they don't even think about that. They won't square that. They won't discuss that. They won't approach that.
And part of this though too is the violence piece of it. Charlie Kirk's executive producer made the point that the real harm in what Jimmy Kimmel said last week is it sends the message that, if you take out one of the conservatives, one of the people we collectively hate, and we do hate, if you do that, then we here at the top of the food chain in the media with our big blowtorches, we will cover for you.
Yeah.
And we see more of this bellicose, to be generous, rhetoric coming. Keith Olbermann tweeting in the direction or Xing in the direction of Scott Jennings, "Your next MFer, keep mugging for the camera." And then he quickly deleted that tweet because it must have registered. He had a fleeting moment of clarity that it sounded like he was calling for Scott Jennings' death. Then he quickly deleted those tweets. Of course, somebody got screenshots before he did. And then followed up with, now we get the fascists off Real TV. That means your career is next, Jennings. Send a tape to Real America's Voice, but keep mugging for the camera, amateur. He just wants to get him off CNN because, again, they're all for free speech and debate and so on and so forth. And anybody that would be deplatformed is, a danger to our state as a free society.
I really, really want to ignore Keith Olbermann. I think he's just had a mental break of some kind.
Yeah.
Having said that, he just seems rather representative of too many people on the left. And what you see that scares me is that there's no mechanism, there's no movement to say on the left, disown him. I don't know what happened to him. And people like him. I mean, Troy Kirk is murdered, and days later, the Jasmine Crockett's of the world are just spreading ghoulish misinformation without any journalist saying, "Excuse me, can you back up those facts? Do you stand by them? We're going to have a team look through them and see if these horrible things you're saying are actually accurate. And if they're not, we're going to have you back on the show. Is that okay?" I mean, there is. I think you really touched on the real big through line through all this is violence. It's absolute violence. And if you're Jimmy Kimmel went on the air after the election and cried, wept in front of us, and described a scenario that would be doomsday. And of course, nothing like that is happening. He's just a fool and a fraud. But again, if you're someone like a Keith Olbermann with a little bent for violence, I don't think he is. I think he's a blowhard. We're just seeing it in real action. We're seeing people taking shots at ABC affiliates,
yes,
and then getting bailed out the day after. I mean, it's incomprehensible what's going on, and there will be more violence, and there will be more explaining it away and rationalizing it until I don't know what we need to have. I just don't know what we need to have. And I don't want to even get so dark with it, but how could you not get dark with these opinions and this lack of journalism integrity is just off the charts.
And the guy that was arrested for shooting into that ABC affiliate's offices in Sacramento, we find now after he gets picked up by the FBI after he walks in California, of course he did, that he had a hit list with Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, and Pam Bondi on it.
And he walks. It wasn't just some lunatic who got drunk and shot up a station in a peak of fury. He had a plan, and he started the plan, and he walks.
And where are all of those celebrities that signed that to please put Jimmy Kimmel back, not please, put Jimmy Kimmel back on the air or else letter? Where are they rallying to the defense of Morrissey, who had to cancel 2 concerts, one in Connecticut, one in Boston, because of credible death threats? And, and Morrissey's been outspoken against the left and cancel culture for several years, and don't think that's lost on those on the left.
Or the artists like Michael Rappaport and Manisyahu who have had their gigs canceled because they're Jewish. And that gets memory hold. I'm one of the few entertainment journalists who's been aggressively covering that subject for quite some time now. I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just doing my job. Why can't they do theirs? Why isn't Variety talking about that? That happens again and again and again. They don't care. They just don't care.
Mm-hmm. What is your, do you have, since you're sort of in the industry and you cover it as with as much detail as you do you have a sense, because there's all sorts of theories about what's really going on with the Jimmy Kimmel thing. It was Nexstar and Sinclair looking for a reason to dump him, and this was provided. He's hemorrhaging money just like Colbert was. No, he's not. This is Nexstar trying to sidle up to the Trump administration because they have that merger with Tegna they want to get done. There's all sorts of theories about what's really going on with Kimmel and what his future is. Do you have a perspective?
Well, I don't think Kimmel's contract, and I think it ends maybe next year. And he's really danced around the idea of continuing with the gig. All I can say is if The Late Show was losing millions and millions of dollars and it has bigger ratings than Kimmel, and just looking at the shows, they seem similar-ish. I'm going to guess that Colbert has a bigger budget. I just don't think this economically makes sense. I think, obviously, late-night TV revenue has been crashing in recent years. I think this will – once the furor dies down, I think his ratings will start to sink again, I guess. I don't know. Maybe he'll just sort of attract a bigger group of liberals. But I just think everything is untenable here. And I don't think anyone's really thinking long-term. I think this is all emotional. And I think that Disney freaked out with all their fellow stars freaking out because it's important to them, even though it's not important to the culture or us. So, yeah, I don't have a firm grip on it. I just think this is a dying format. He's chased away many, many people. He's no longer funny and charming and interesting and entertaining. And I don't – if he wants to sign a new contract that's much, much less, I guess that's an option too.
All right, on happier thoughts before we let you go, got to ask you, a series and or movie recommendation. Have you seen Black Rabbit yet?
No, I haven't. I'm actually seeing a movie tonight, which is getting lots of buzz, One Battle After Another, the new Leonardo DiCaprio movie, which I heard is extraordinarily political and in a way that maybe conservatives won't be too giddy about. But, yeah, it's been a tepid time at the movies. There's not a ton that I could thoroughly throw my arms around. I've enjoyed Weapons immensely. I thought that was a very good movie.
Weapons. Weapons though is, for those who like that genre, which I do. Yeah. That needs to come with a little caveat. That is not for the faint of heart. There's a couple scenes that are not for the faint of heart.
Oh, absolutely no. It's funny. I've been so upset with the Kirk shooting and the reaction to it. I've actually been watching old Modern Family reruns because I need a break, and it's the funniest show in the world, and it's so densely funny and so beautifully arranged, and every performance is so pristine. It's been I have to say I needed some sort of it's my emotional support system. I love it, so that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, and I did see Nobody too, where you talked about that last time you were on, and your review is exactly right on. It's it's what you would expect, but it was entertaining. It's sort of like Brad Pitt in F1. It's sort of what I expected based on other movies in that sort of genre, but it was very entertaining. He did a good job. It was it's worth seeing.
Yeah, and the big twist of the first film can't be replicated, so
Right.
you can have diminished returns. So there's no way you can do it.
Yeah, no for nobody too. Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's always nice to see a local boy here from Chicago, Bob Odenkirk, do well.
It's shocking that he's so good at that gig. It's an action star. He doesn't look like it.
Yeah, right. Christian Toto, host of the Hollywood in Toto podcast, HollywoodInToto.com, HollywoodInToto.com. Christian, thank you as always. Appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure.
And he joined us on the Turnkey.pro answer line.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer.
Your show keeps me alive during the week. There's nobody I'd rather listen to between 5 and 9 in the morning than you guys.
On AM 560, The Answer.
Attention investors with a 401k, IRA, or retirement account. The dollar has lost over 25% of its value in the past 5 years, and it's only going to get worse. Are you prepared for what's about to happen next? We are Advantage Gold, the #1 customer-rated gold IRA company in America, and we are helping Americans prepare for the great de-dollarization by diversifying their portfolios with physical precious metals. We've partnered with former chief economist of the IMF, Kenneth Rogoff, to give away his latest book called Our Dollar, Your Problem, a must-read for investors. Call 800-741-GOLD, and we'll rush a free copy of Our Dollar, Your Problem to your doorstep and include our special gold IRA investing kit, valued at $49. The dollar is losing value fast. Call 800-741-GOLD now to get your free copy of Our Dollar, Your Problem and our free gold IRA investing kit. Supplies are limited. Consult your tax and financial professional before investing. Call 800-741-GOLD.